Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. The first thing I wanted to do today, I believe for those of us that are Ripple or XRP holders, today's article is something that everyone, this article in Forbes on David Schwartz, this is something that all of you out there should go to Forbes and read. This gives you kind of the history of David Schwartz and how he came to be at Ripple. This guy right here, and I don't think I'm overstating this, I personally believe that XRP, those of you that are going to benefit from the future of XRP and what's coming, I believe if any one person should get more credit than anyone, it's David Schwartz. This guy is a mad scientist genius, and he would probably be someone that's very intimidating to even talk to, I would imagine. He's so smart. But there's an article in Forbes today, and it's called Ripple's $1 Trillion Man. And really it just takes you through, and you really get a great picture of just how smart this guy is, and really how selfless David Schwartz is. This is not, if you read this article, it'll become very clear to you that even though the article calls him the $1 Trillion Man, this guy is not really motivated by money at all. This guy is motivated by the tech, and he's a very admirable guy, and I really encourage all of you to go out there and watch this video today. Read this article today. The next thing, now the theme of my video today is what has caused the market to tank today, which is has to do with Goldman Sachs. I'll get into that, but before I do that, I want to encourage you all to not just read this article that I just showed you, but I also want you all to go to C3 Nick's Twitter feed at C3_Nick. And those of you that are new, this guy is one of the smartest and one of the most thorough and the best Twitter guys to follow if you are into XRP or Ripple or just digital assets in general. C3 Nick is very honest, and he covers the good and the bad, and so he's not just giving you all the sunny version of everything. He's going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not, as long as it's the truth. This video was in his feed. He called it Video Sunday, and the reason I want you to go and watch this, and it wouldn't be bad if you paused my video now and went and watched it. You can find it on YouTube. It's but you can go into his Twitter feed and watch it straight from there. Anton Creel annihilates retail brokers. It's a long video, but the gist of it is, and the picture in my video today is a picture of a hamster cage, and more or less that's what this video is about. Is that the professional traders on Wall Street and just in general professional traders for years and years and years, we as retail investors are really nothing more than hamsters on a wheel to these people. We provide the liquidity that allows them to make the big bucks. And for really until crypto, in my opinion, until crypto, these guys always ran the show. This cryptocurrency, and I've said this before, cryptocurrency is the first time that I know of in history where the retail or just the average Joes sitting behind their computer were able to beat Wall Street to the punch. And that's, in my opinion, a big part of the reason that we're going through a lot of these days like today where the market is getting killed from one thing that's said in the news from one of the traditional brokers. But anyway, you should go and watch this video from C3 Nick, because really, in a nutshell, it really with charts and diagrams, the guy shows you how we are manipulated, how we've been manipulated in investing circles for really hundreds of years. And so go and watch that. And now I'm going to go through, and it'll make a little more sense to you. If you wanted to pause my video and go watch that one and then come back at this point, this will make a lot more sense. But it's going to make sense anyway, because I try to be pretty good at making things make sense. Okay. All right. First of all, I wanted to cover what's been said in the past. This was from May 2nd. I showed you at the time that it happened. Goldman Sachs to open a Bitcoin trading operation. This was in the New York Times. All indications, not just with Goldman Sachs, but all of Wall Street, it's all moving towards the cryptocurrency space and blockchain space. They're all coming. I've told you this 1,000 times, and I'll keep telling you. They are coming. Okay, then this is another one. Okay, on August the 6th, Goldman Sachs is considering a custody offering for crypto funds. Now, who knows if this leaked or if this is something they actually put out. As long as I'm talking about custody, I'm trying to sprinkle these things throughout my videos when it's relevant. But while I'm thinking about this, the Ledger wallet announced today that they have added several coins, EOS, as well as these are the Ledger Nano S's. They've added EOS, Waves, and all of these currencies to the Ledger Nano S. For those of you that don't have the Ledger Nano S, go in the description of any of my videos and go get them. This is your personal custody solution. That's how it has anything to do with what I just said. But go and get one if you don't. It's the safest way to store your digital assets. Goldman Sachs. Okay, so let's look at this. This is what came out today. Goldman Sachs shelves plans to build a crypto trading desk. Okay, it says that, now all of the articles did not say what I'm about to tell you, but what basically they're saying that they've decided to temporarily shelve their having a crypto trading desk. This is Goldman Sachs. Well, if you look further down in this article, at some point down here it says, okay, here it is. The investment bank isn't giving up and may revive plans later. For now, they're focusing on the custody offerings in crypto. Now, I've read at least 3 or 4 or 5 articles from mainstream financial news outlets that did not mention this part. They just presented this as, oh, they're just getting out of, they're not going to have a crypto trading desk. Oh, they must know something. It's over. It's not over. This right here is pure manipulation. And don't think for a minute that the Bitcoin price being at 6,000, it was right at 7,000 when this happened, which I think that these major players see 7,000 as some kind of resistance point. And I believe that every time we get in somewhere in that range, it gets tamped down because they're not quite ready for what's coming, most likely more into the fall. But this was another article having to do with this today. Bitcoin drops 3% in 10 minutes. Ethereum plunges. And so, it's the end of the world as usual. Okay? Well, when I saw this morning, as usual, always go with your gut. Your gut is what really screams at you what the truth is. The truth is so far removed from these investment banks like Goldman Sachs. Truth is irrelevant to these people. As you can see time and time again in the way that they say one thing, and then they do another thing, then they say something different, do something different. It's like you're constantly, like I mentioned, and like is in the picture on this video, you're a hamster on the wheel. That's how these people view us. They decide what they decide what the line is gonna be in back rooms, and then they get everybody, all the media and everybody to go out and toe that line. That's how this works. But let's look. I don't like to just tell you things and not back it up with anything. Let's look back. This one right here was just back on August the 3rd. And I remember the day that this came out. This is right. Remember, this was after they had announced they were going to have a trading desk. All systems are go. They had replaced Goldman had replaced their CEO with a guy who was very crypto friendly. And then out of nowhere, we see this article, and I remember reading this and saying, well, that can be nothing but manipulation. And so they say Bitcoin is never coming back. Right? Now you tell me, if Goldman Sachs is creating a custody solution and they're opening a cryptocurrency trading desk, in the middle of that, why on earth would Goldman Sachs come out and say Bitcoin is never coming back? That makes no sense. And when it doesn't make any sense, there's another motive behind it. It's as simple as that. Well, don't think that it's a coincidence. This was on August 3rd when they said this. Well, guess who says this on August the 6th? JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, you'll remember this, returns to Bitcoin bashing, calls cryptocurrency a scam. Now remember, this was also a backtrack from Jamie Dimon. He had come off of that and he had retracted his statements. Then I remember reading this as well and thinking, well, this doesn't make any sense. These guys, they're going back and forth from good to bad to good to bad. Well, let's look at what the price, this was right around this time. During this week, the price of Bitcoin was around 7,300. So it was at around that, and then it says it starts the session with losses of 4%. So that same week, you've got Jamie Dimon and Goldman Sachs coming out and saying things that are completely counter to what they've been saying. And it's right around that 7,000 resist, what I think they see as a level that they come out and start bashing it down. Now, I could be wrong about this. I could be totally wrong about this, but I've seen enough. When I see articles that say one thing and then the next day they say something completely different, then I smell a rat, okay? And the truth is, I believe that these people see us as nothing but hamsters that can be manipulated. I can remember, and the reason I keep talking about hamsters on a wheel, I can remember when I was a kid, I had a hamster cage, and they had those little orange tunnels. Well, that's kind of how I see these guys. They see us, they put the food at the end of one tunnel, and they send us off towards that food, and meanwhile they're over here doing something else, and the good food's being set up to be somewhere completely different. But that's kind of how I believe that these people have always viewed us. Remember, and I'll never forget because my father told me the story. My father had a brokerage account back during the Enron days, when Enron was the biggest powerhouse that there was. And he told me that his broker at the time, and I won't mention which firm, but it was a major top 3 firm. His broker at the time told him that you need to go invest in Enron. Now this was like a month before Enron completely imploded. And when they came out, it was later brought out that not just this firm, but all of those firms, they were in bed with Enron. They had investment banking relationships on one side, and then they were pushing the stock to their retail investors on the other side. So they had major conflicts of interest going on, and no telling what other kind of conflicts of interest that were never found out. But that's how this game operates. And so I know that it's frustrating to see the market get bashed on all this, but just mark my words, there's going to be one sunny day when all of these people are finally in place and their systems are all in place and everything's in place for them to make the big bucks that they want. And when that day happens, if you have been calm and just held the way that everybody tells you to do that knows anything in this space, then you will be able to benefit right along with them. And so you just need to, as I've said before, just need to chill out and put your big boy pants on and hold. All right. One other thing I wanted to mention to you, I've been telling you about the WireX card. You can get the WireX card in the description of all my videos as well. Yes, I believe it was today or yesterday, WireX had announced that they added support for Ethereum. So those of you that hold Ethereum, if you wanted to change out Ethereum into fiat, WireX's card is going to support Ethereum as well. I am not an investment advisor. I am the digital asset investor. I really hope that you will please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button as much as you can. And I really appreciate you for listening to my channel. I've been getting a lot of great emails from you guys, and I appreciate your listening. I got an email yesterday from a guy who had played baseball, and he said that the stories I had told about my plan with my sons in baseball had really hit home with him. And this guy had Tommy John surgery right before he was getting a scholarship to play at a Division I school. And so it was an interesting story, and I appreciate the emails. Thank you all for listening, and I will be back. Bye.